in the chat. All right, check it out, y'all. Chat. I'm gonna need you to buckle down and get serious. It's time for our money update. Gotta talk about finance, the markets, economics. Chat, what season is it? Chat, what season is it? Can anybody tell me what season it is? Anybody know? Nope. Gotcha, bitch.
Holy fucking shit. This nigga just counted radioactive shekels. This nigga just transformed into Super Jew. This boy doesn't save people, he saves money. Powered by top Mossad scientists at Tunnel Tech, this nigga can fly faster than a Mossad missile hitting a school in Gaza. Don't even think about being late on your rent, or Super Jew will be there faster than a penny can drop. The Anal Defecation League just called a meeting with Super Jew, the Council of Cohen, Levi, Goldberg, Goldman, Kaplan, Berg, Stein, Witz, Baum, and Thal are going to be launching an attack on Kanye-West. This boy flew up into the sky and over to Calabasas to deal with Kanye-West. This nigga was hiding, but Super Jew used his super smell to find him. Trapped him in the corner of his mansion and told him he's been too anti-Semitic. Super Jew stared him down and used his missile eyes to launch 2 100% kosher Mossad rockets at Kanye and sent him to the Shadow Realm. This Jew can't waste any time. A single mother of 4 is late on her rent, and Super Jew needs to teach her a lesson.
AI was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. Oh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Should have never gave him AI. Nope, that's not it either. It's a new season is upon us. New season is upon us. Y'all better pay attention. I'm giving you the meme coin drops.
Is that a curry nigga on the moon? That's right, nigga. The curry niggas just took over the moon. We just built the first intergalactic call center. That's right. We scamming aliens now, nigga.
Is that a $1,000 Google Play gift card?
Damn right, baby. AI auntie make us a drink.
Cow shit on the rocks, nigga.
Daddy, the fat niggas are attacking us.
Don't worry, baby. Auntie AI activate roti reflectors.
Roti reflectors now at 100% master.
Excellent. Now launch the Tika torpedoes.
Master, our attack was deflected by the enemy ship's soap shields. Additionally, our shields were breached and 2 of our cows were eliminated.
Damn it. These fat niggas want to turn our cows into steak. That's enough. Launch the curry cannon.
Launching curry cannon now. Direct hit. The enemy ship has been neutralized.
You saved us, Daddy. You're so strong.
No problem, baby. That's what curry niggas do. But it's not over yet. Auntie AI prepare to launch an attack on the fat niggas.
I don't know what's going on in the meme coin space. The curry niggas is at war with the fat niggas. For some reason, I placed a limit order on that meme coin, $curry. Not financial advice, do your own research. But I put a limit order in. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm in.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I don't know what's next. I feel like I need to pay one of these niggas to drop a Hotep coin. We have no allies, not even AI. Yeah. The meme coin wars. Yeah, this is crazy. I don't know what the fuck's going on. All right, let's get serious. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Meme coins are all about marketing. It's all about marketing. In the meantime, Gogstein Media reports Paul Atkins a known pro-Bitcoin advocate, has been officially confirmed as the new SEC chair. This is going to be this time period. I know Ronan calls it the age of domestication, but as far as money is concerned, this is going to be a moment of huge opportunity. A lot of people are going to get stupid paid during this time period. Okay? A lot of people are. Wait till you see what I got cooked up for you guys today. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. In the meantime, CPI numbers came out. Inflation is officially down. Yeah. Inflation's officially down. It's behind us. Not really, but which, I made a couple of predictions this morning. They're not really predictions. They're just common sense takes, really. Oh shit. Hold on. I gotta update the Griff report. Because something new just dropped. Popped right in my algorithm. All right. So, what do we expect? It's right here. Let's take a look. So, no, not that yet. Hold on. We're going to get to that in just a second. We're going to get to tariffs in just a second. First of all, Doe Dubes yesterday executed a call options trade. 22,150%. Wow. Talk about doubling up. Coach says Doe Dube sent me the setup. Did he? That's a big play. That's a big play right there. Nigga, go buy a house now. Just go buy a house. Buy a farm. Buy something of value. Bitcoin, gold. Buy New York City with those gains. That's huge. Huge gains. 22,152%. It's a nasty take. I told you. This is going to be one of the greatest moments in the history of wealth creation. Said buy me coins. Insider trading. He must be in Trump's Discord group. I don't know what it is. Buy rental property and live upstairs? Yeah. Shout out to Doe Dubes. Sick trading happening over here in Hotepistan. Sick trading. Everybody's complaining. Oh, Trump. Bow, 22,000%. Shut up, bitches. We making money. We making money in any weather. Okay? We making money in any weather. You're all right. So, where is my fucking tweet that I can't find? Why is it gone? Oh, because wait, what? I bumped it. Here it is. All right. So inflation down. Trump will demand Fed rate cuts. If cuts, then boom goes the market. Fact check me. I could be wrong. Now, all of this was hinged on what I said the other day. Right here. We talked about this. What Europe does, America does. And European Central Bank was set to cut rates. So we knew something was coming in regard to our rate cuts. So you combine that with these new inflation numbers, Trump asking for rate cuts. We are probably going to get rate cuts. I don't know when. Some people say June. I say probably somewhere within this quarter. Or, I think soon. A lot of this stuff is, transitory, but we'll have to wait and see. Who can I learn to trade from? I don't know. It's a lot of people. Doe. Yeah. YouTube. I don't know. Nigga sold those gains. He like, yo, hold up. I need to learn how to trade. Don't go fucking losing all your money now. Don't go losing all your money chasing gains. Anyway. So, shout out to Adam Rezick. Adam Rezick this morning sent me an interesting document, which we're going to take a look at in regard to Trump tariff war. Now, we had, what's the name of that website? Was it on Market Watch? I think it was on Market Watch. No, it wasn't Bloomberg. But basically what they said was, it was an opinion piece. Let me see if I can find it. Trump tariffs opinion. So if you look here, you see everybody's like, oh, Trump retreat on tariffs. It wasn't Motley. It was, hold on, let me see. It wasn't that. Was it Bloomberg? No, it wasn't Bloomberg. It wasn't Watcher. It was, hold on. It wasn't that. No. And then I had somebody on my what's the name? Did they move it from the front? Maybe they moved it from the front page already. Because I could have sworn it was on Market Watch. They probably moved it from the front page. Oh, shit. Rashad Seven God, thank you for the gifted subs.
This a real hotel.
Appreciate you, brother. Here's another one. Trump's trade policy is a mess. We need tariffs, but not like this. So everybody said, what was the terminology they used? Like he backed off, he capitulated, all of that shit is what I was saying, right? Trump, what was it? What were they saying, chat? He caved. That's what it was. Trump caved. That's what it was. Trump caved. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Trump caved today. Trump caved on tariffs. Trump caved on tariffs. You guys see this? This is what all the news headlines were saying. Trump caved, Trump caved, Trump caved. That was the exact verbiage I saw. Okay. Yeah, here it is. I knew it was Market Watch. Here it is. Yeah. Opinion. Trump caved on tariffs. Maverick, thank you for the gifted sub. Trump caved on tariffs. Here's how he can really put America first. This is on Market Watch. Yeah, I thought it was Market Watch. Now let's go back. Because I got to set all this up to show you what I found today, or what was placed on my desk by Adam Rezick. Adam Rezick is the coder behind grifties.com. And I spent an hour this morning, probably more than that, probably like an hour and a half, just really digesting this document. It was very intense, very technical. And here's what I took away from the document before we talk about the document. I said, we are not in a tariff war with China. We are in an economic war with China. Fact check me. I could be wrong. And I said, Trump wouldn't have made such severe moves against China if the Biden admin wasn't asleep at the wheel. And then Mukhtar chimes in And he adds in some context here and blames Reagan and Biden, Obama, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Reagan, and Nixon. So we've been asleep at the wheel versus China for a really long time. So what do we do about it? Now we got to switch gears. Watch this. Boom. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we got to get all fucking big-brained and technical.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Watch this. So, there's this document published November 2024. You guys, everybody see that? November 2024. A user's guide to restructuring the global trading system. Okay? Global trading system. Okay? Now I said we are not in a tariff war. We are in an economic war, technically a cold war. Now if you look at this document, it says here chapter 3 tariffs. Now before we do anything, let's go ahead and get you a copy of the document because some of y'all are geeks and you might want to follow along if you're a geek like me. So here's the link to the document. Boom, right there. There's the link. Read my mind. Now we're going to go follow along. We're going to jump right to chapter 3. Now I've downloaded, this is my PDF. And let's go down to chapter 3, tariffs. Okay. Made a couple of highlights. And like I said, it's very technical, so I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but it's pretty spooky. Okay. So now remember, the headline said Trump caved, right? Trump caved, right? Now, if we slide down here to page 15, you'll see here, third, interpreting goods level microdata is difficult in light of re-export diversion. Don't worry about all this technical jargon. Just follow. It says right here, to avoid the tariffs, many Chinese companies began exporting goods or components to third countries, engaging in some minor processing and then re-exporting the United States. Rerouting of Chinese imports increased by roughly 50% since the tariff increases. Okay, this is Trump's previous 2018 tariff war. I think it was 2018 to 2019 tariff war with China, right? So basically what China was doing was like, oh, okay, what we're going to do is we'll have, 90% of our product complete. Then we'll send it to Taiwan. And then Taiwan will complete the process, and then it'll go to the United States, that way bypassing tariffs, okay? Bypassing tariffs, as long as it's cheaper than the actual tariffs themselves, okay? Now, let's go to the next part. It says here, Freeman Baldwin, and whatever this dude's name is, in 2023 found that while just over 60% of manufacturing intermediates imported into the United U.S. came directly from China. So 60% of this scheme came from China. Manufacturing intermediates imported into the United States came from China. Okay. Hotep illegal immigrant. I've been following a lot of financial reporters, including you, HJ, especially throughout the years. As a fan and a follower of the Griff report, I think you're wrong on this. Trump is fucking up with this trade war. This can eventually lead to a hotter war with several countries. Okay. Let's continue. We'll follow what the document says here. It's very, very interesting. It says here now, we're on page 17. American producers will have improved competitiveness selling into the American market, and the importers will be incentivized to find alternatives to tariffed imports. So this is some of the motives behind the tariffs, right? Now, the point of me showing you this is the fact that this was premeditated, like people knew this was coming. Okay, this wasn't like Trump woke up as president and said, yo, I'm going to throw these tariffs and then I'm going to take these tariffs off. You know what I'm saying? It's not what's happening here. Let's go to the next section. Page 18. It says right here, similarly, imagine a very large tariff on China, say a sharp increase in the effective tariff rate from roughly 20% to roughly 50%. And we saw a 50% increase this week. Okay, it says offset by a similar move in the currency. So let's explain that. I kind of explained that in the past. So basically, you can offset a tariff by decreasing the value of your currency. Okay, it'll make the goods cheaper. So that's what China was doing. It's a communist society, so they can just devalue their currency and try to offset. And that's what Trump is playing on. Like, you'll see in a second. It says here a 30% devaluation in the renminbi would most likely lead to significant market volatility because China's communist economic system necessitates strict control over the capital account to keep funds locked in domestic assets. The incentives to find ways around capital controls could be devastating to their economy. So when Trump increased, so basically what's happening is Trump puts the tariffs on. To sidestep the tariffs, China's like, we're going to devalue our currency. Now what you going to do, bitch? And Trump's like, okay, how low can you go? How low can you go? So he raises the tariffs again. Now China's like, hold on a second. I don't know if we can lower this shit too fucking much. So Trump is playing with these niggas because he knows us being more of a capitalist society, them being more of a communist society, they can't move as quickly. They're not as fluid. You know, it's just so many controls. So let's go to the next part. Now, the thing is, the tariffs you're going to see in a moment here ain't about other countries. All of this was about China. Watch this. In 2025 to 2026, the yield spread of Treasury securities over other nations' debt may narrow if the Fed continues its cutting cycle, catching up to other central banks and the special factors boosting U.S. growth. Okay? Now, that was for me. I was supposed to read that. I forgot that's not part of the presentation. Alternatively, concerns over U.S. debt. Here we go. Concerns over the U.S. debt sustainability may come to the fore and prevent the dollar from appreciating to offset tariffs. And that's what we were talking about before, like with the Marshall-Lerner principle, et cetera, et cetera. This is all documented in 2024. Okay? Concerns over U.S. debt sustainability may come to the forefront and prevent the dollar from appreciating to offset the tariffs. And we all know that there's an inverse relationship between U.S. Treasury bonds and the Dixie. And the Dixie just looks like absolute shit right now, at least comparison to previous highs. Now, check this out. Right here, it says, because tariffs are a negotiating tool, the president was mercurial in their implementation. So basically the same thing as last time. It's the same thing as this time. Okay. The uncertainty over whether, when, and how big adds to leverage in negotiation by creating fear and doubt. So this is about leverage in negotiating and creating fear and doubt. Okay. And here it says in a second term. So now this is where they're predicting the future. In a second term, there's less cause to negotiate with Chinese up front, since they already abdicated their responsibilities under the Phase 1 agreement. When someone has already demonstrated they walk away from their commitments, why bother trying to procure more without some form of security, like placing the UST reserves in escrow, their treasury in escrow, the treasury bonds in escrow? So basically they're saying China's a bad actor. In the world economy, China's a bad actor. They say they're going to do something, but they don't never do it. They never come through. They be on some bullshit. Okay? So let's talk about the policy. This is a policy right here. It says what he wants to do. Remember, this is all a prediction. Okay? Gradually ramp tariffs at a pace not too different from 2018 to 2019, which the economy seemed able to absorb. Okay? Put the ball in China's court for reforming their economic system. Notice we're talking about tariffs here, and the guy is talking about China. He's not talking about the other countries. He's talking about China. Watch this. Allowed tariffs to exceed 60% midway through the term. We are not even close to midway through his term, which is something President Trump has expressed warning. 60% is a starting point. Number 4, provide firms with clarity over the path for tariffs, which will help them make plans to deal with supply chain adjustments and moving production out of China. And that's why we're not seeing huge crashes in the market, because everybody's like, we know what's going on. All the big boys already know what's going on. Yesterday, people were saying Trump had some sort of stock manipulation because people were placing bets on the stock market. And I'm like, they've been had advanced knowledge. They know this play, okay? Limit financial market volatility by removing uncertainty regarding implementation. You see that? Limit market volatility by removing uncertainty regarding implementation. Monkeys, now you see it, now you don't. Now it says here, Scott Bessent, a Trump advisor, floated as potential Treasury Secretary. Now, Scott is Treasury Secretary, has proposed putting countries into different groups based on their currency policies, the terms of bilateral trade agreements and security agreements, their values, and more. Okay? So this is, some people often think it's Trump doing this. No, Scott knows what the fuck is going on. Now check this out. In this manner, tariffs create negotiating leverage for incentivizing better terms from the rest of the world on both trade and security terms. America would encourage other nations to move toward lower tariffs, improving burden sharing. Says one can imagine a long list of trade and security criteria which might lead to higher or lower tariffs, premised on the notion that access to U.S. market is a privilege that must be earned, not a right. Right? For example, maybe the U.S. wants to discriminate based upon, and it says right here, check this out. There's a bunch of points here. I'm going to read them all, but I want to point to this one first. Does the nation help China evade tariffs via re-export?
China!
Does the nation side with China, Russia, Iran in key international disputes, for instance, at the United Nations? This is bigger than tariffs. This is a complete reorganization of world power. Does the nation apply similar tariff rates to their imports from the U.S. as America does their exports here? We saw that this week. Does the nation have a history of suppressing its currency, for instance, via accumulation of excessive quantities of foreign exchange reserves? Does the nation open its markets to U.S. firms in the same way America opens up its markets to foreign firms operating stateside? Does the nation expect American intellectual property rights? Does the nation pay its NATO obligations? Does the nation help sanctioned entities evade sanctions or trade with sanctioned entities? Does the nation support or oppose U.S. security efforts in various theaters? This is not about money. Listen, get down and lay down, okay? You want protection from our government, our military? Listen, this is how it's going to go. Does the nation harbor enemies of the United States, i.e. terrorists and cyber criminals? Do the nation's leaders grandstand against the United States in the international theater? These is power moves, not money moves. And it says right here, I highlighted page 23, countries that want to be inside the defense umbrella must also be inside the fair trade umbrella. It says right here, such a tool can be used to what? Pressure other nations to join our tariffs against China, creating a multilateral approach toward tariffs. Forced to choose between facing a tariff on their exports to American consumer or applying tariffs to their imports from China. Which will they choose? Which will you choose? Are you going to face a tariff on your exports to American consumer? Or apply tariffs on your imports from China? What are you going to do? It depends on the relative tariff rates and how significant each of these economies and the security, right? So it says here, the attempt to create a global tariff wall around China would increase the pressure on China to reform its economic system at the risk of significantly more global volatility as supply chains come under greater pressure to adjust. Global tariff wall around China. America is basically saying, you playing with China or you playing with us. It's that simple. And a lot of these countries is like, well, we can't live without the United States. We want to be inside your defense umbrella. If shit go down, who do you want protecting you? China or America? This is gangster business. This is gangster business. What military do you want having your back? They like, listen, man, all right, fuck it, you know. This is gangster shit. Now, right here, next point, we're on page 24. It says, because of the emphasis on competitiveness, it is unlikely that a second Trump administration will support an increased domestic tax rate. And you see, Trump's been talking about that, right? Whether corporate or income. Its goal will be, in large part, to make America a more attractive place to invest and hire than other countries, particularly China. And higher domestic tax rates undermine that goal. So we're not going to see any tax increases. We're going to get tax cuts, if anything. Now let's continue here. It says, page 25. Moreover, tariffs can address pre-existing distortions due to other nations' trade policies. Now, every time he mentions trade policies and other nations and tariffs, whose name pops up?
China.
It says right here, the list of China's abuses of the international trade system is long and storied and ranges from state subsidies for export-oriented industries to outright theft of intellectual property and corporate sabotage. These distortions interfere with the discovery of comparative advantage and a free and open system of international trade. Applying corrective tariffs to address these distortions may improve overall efficiency. Let's continue. Page 26. This is the last of the tariff section of my highlights. It says right here, recall that China's economy is dependent on capital controls, keeping savings invested in increasingly inefficient allocations of capital to unproductive assets like empty apartment buildings. We've all seen that. If tit-for-tat escalation causes increasing pressure on those capital controls for money to leave China, their economy can experience more severe volatility than the American economy. I'm going to read that one more time. If tit-for-tat escalation causes increasing pressure on those capital controls for money to leave China, their economy can experience far more severe volatility than the American economy. These tariffs are not about tariffs. This is a war with China. We are in a cold war with China, and this shit dates back to Nixon. It's just that everybody else been asleep at the wheel, and Biden was asleep at the wheel. Biden should have picked up where Trump left off in 2019. What is clear, however, is that given all these considerations, the Trump team will view tariffs. This is the conclusion of the tariff section. What does it say here? The Trump team will view tariffs as an effective means of raising taxes on foreign payers to pay for retaining low tax on Americans. You see that? Now I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to show you something else. Hold on. We could do this all day. Let's turn this off. I gave y'all that document. Let's turn it off really fast. Let's come back here. What do we see here? China, March 4th, 2025. Chris Lee. This is Australian Strategic Policy Institute, ASPI. China is on course for prolonged recession. March 4th, 2025. Let's go back. Let's just type in China economy into the Google bots. Let's see what's going on. South China Morning Post. U.S. inflation? Question mark. China is more worried the trade war will make goods too cheap. As American demand declines, Chinese producers will be forced to compete even more fiercely for orders at home. That's in the report. That's in the report from 2024 from Hudson Bay Capital. So China, their producers at home gonna have to compete. I'm not done yet. We got more. Let's type in China stock market. What do we got here? Let's go to news. China musters national team to fight on front line in trade war. Reuters, China, Hong Kong stocks rebound with regional markets. Beijing support. Yeah. Beijing got to stay. I'm telling you, they got to support. They got to try and prop up their government. Hong Kong rises along with other Asia Pacific stock markets as Trump pauses tariffs. China's in trouble. Right here. You see right here? This is the capital controls we're talking about. China's sovereign fund steps in to support stocks plunging on trade war. So Trump playing with him like, yo, how much of that communism can you do? Let's go to the phone lines. Hotep illegal immigrant, you got a lot to say. Let's get you on the phone lines. 202-596-5631. Let's argue. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Go ahead. Call the number. Let's hear what you got to say. 202-596-5631. Come on in on the phone lines. We want to hear from you. 3 days ago, China stocks crash. Hong Kong dives 10% and worst plunge since 2008 as tariffs fallout spreads. OTEP illegal immigrant. Let's get you on the phone lines. 202-596-5631. Tell your boss you got to step outside for 5 minutes so we can have this conversation. 202-596-5631. Text the number. I'll call in. What's your number? I don't have your number. What do you mean? It's right here. That's the number right there. What's the problem? Where I don't have your number. Oh, there you are. I see you. Hold on. There you are. I found your number. I had to hit the search feature. Why is the text message taking so long to go through? In China, you can start a YouTube, Kick, Instagram account, etc. to talk shit about anything and anyone, so the government has all the power, which makes them weak consumers. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why is the text message not going through? Oh, it says sending. Yo, just call the number, bro. All right, while we wait for this nigga. Let's keep it pushing while we wait for him. So every